Look at that. Is that the original one? It's the same one though, right?
It's exactly the same one.
Have you've seen my family picture?
Yeah.
On Facebook? That's what we did it on right there. That classic vintage. Problem is, all the good games sell, and then the sports games don't, and you just keep getting more and more sports games. So after a while, you end up with like 10,000 just old sports games. So, got to figure out how to get rid of them. Maybe we should send them to the bin store and just blow them out. Every liquidation business needs magic erasers. You know, you get like a couch, a leather couch that has some dirt like grimed in, you can clean it off, but then it's like in the seams and the little pores of the couches. Magic eraser takes that stuff out. It's the best thing you could ever use for cleaning. Every business needs to have magic erasers, Paul. My gambling addiction? Well, I don't think it's a gambling addiction. I think I'm addicted to making money, right? And so any way that I could try to make money, if it's through gambling, through flipping, through hustling, you know. So I do love to gamble. I don't have an addiction though, because I don't gamble that much, except when Paul gets me there all the time. What's that? I have a gambling addiction. I don't know if, I mean, when I go, I'm excessive. But I just don't go a lot, so I don't become excessive a lot, you know? Well, that's what, you know, I have to work. I have to work. Because when I'm not working, I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, all right? So that's either I'm going out and partying, or I'm at a casino, or I'm at a adult entertainment venue. I don't know if I can say that. So I'd rather be, you know, I work, then I coach football, so that keeps me busy. You know, I got to just be doing something productive, and because when I don't, then my mind starts to wander. All right, what kind of trouble can I get into tonight? You know, and it never ends up too great. So that's why. I mean, that's what, you know. I don't know what an alcoholic is. I don't know the definition of an alcoholic, because there's so many different ones. You know, every night when I go home, I sit down and I have me a glass of bourbon, right?
Not a glass, a couple glasses.
A couple glasses of bourbon, and I just relax, and that's the end of my night, and then I go to sleep. So, you know, some people would call me an alcoholic, some people would not, but, you know, where was I going with this? I had a point I was gonna make here. Yeah, alcoholics forget. So I mean, that's why I have to work, I have to do something, because, you know, first of all, my rule is I don't drink past 5 o'clock. I mean, unless I might have a beer at lunch, or if we're like out on a boat, I might have some beers, but I try not to drink before 5 o'clock, and, you know, normally I don't get home until 8 or 9 o'clock, so I don't have a drink till after 8 or 9 o'clock. So I don't think I'm an alcoholic, but some people say if you have more than, you know, 4 drinks a week, then you're definitely in that category. So if that's what I am, that's what I am. But I, you know, I'm trying to figure out the meaning of life, you know, the meaning of happiness. I'm striving to try to make everybody be happy. I only want happy people around me. I only want positive people around me. So I'm striving to, you know, to figure out my happiness, and in turn my kids' happiness and my wife's happiness, you know, and trying to figure out what that all means. And, you know, I like to have a couple drinks of whiskey at night. That's what I like to do, so I'm gonna continue doing it. You know, and you know, all my doctor, I have high blood pressure, so I take meds for my high blood pressure. You know, I asked my doctor, you know, I'll do anything to fix this, and they're like, I said I drink whiskey at night. They're like, no, that has nothing to do with it. If you were telling me you were drinking a case of beer, that'd be different, but whiskey's not gonna hurt you. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think that's what she was gonna say to me. I thought she was gonna tell me to cut it out. I probably still wouldn't have, though. What do you mean that's yours? What'd you put on it? $1.99?
That says 14.
Low value, box damage, returns, scissor jack, 2-ton scissor jack. Okay, in case you didn't know, ASD is the largest business-to-business trade show in Vegas. It happens 2 times a year. It's in Vegas on August 22nd to the 25th this year. You know, you want to go there. What ASD used to be called stands for the Associated Surplus Dealers, right? So it was all the surplus, excess, overstock, liquidation, the business that you and I are in. You know, this trade show is specifically for that industry. Now they've kind of branched out. They did have one here in Orlando, and I really didn't like it that much because there's it was mostly, you know, like smoking tobacco and CBD oil and stuff like that. There's so much of that there, but you know, that's not really my business. So I didn't like the Orlando one, but I'm excited about going to the Vegas one. They just came out with a list of all the vendors there. And if you're in this business, you really should think about going there to make some contacts, to meet people. They changed what ASD stands for now. Now it's called the Affordable Shopping Destination, ASD. So ASD 2021, once again, is August 22 through the 25th. All right, some of the big names that are going to be there are Excess Limited, Liquidation.com, SX Wholesales. You know, these are some of the real big players in the industry. These are the guys that you really want to get in with so that you can be on their mailing list for the truckloads. You know, if you could, you know, remember, sometimes these bigger contract holders don't want to deal with smaller buyers, but if you can get in front of their face, you know, impress them, wow them, you know, maybe they will return your calls, maybe they will send you deals, send you loads so you can start buying from them. Because certainly if you're cutting out all the middlemen, then you know, you're going to save yourself money, you're going to save your store money, your customers' money, your business money, and then you can actually have a better opportunity to grow your business. And I think that's what most of us are here to do, is grow our business.
Good job, bro. Good job. Parkour.
Now that's what I'm talking about right there. That's right. Tell her this is how we like it. We like to buy it like this. One time when I went to Vegas, I went out to the Hoover Dam, which is quite a ways away from Vegas. I don't remember how long it took us. It was definitely over an hour. It might have been a couple hours to get there. And, you know, because I'd never been, and I've always heard about it. I always heard it's a great tourist attraction. You know, I did the same thing in the Mayan ruins, right? So I took a bus like for 3 hours to this Mayan ruins, and then you got off the bus and you had to walk for 2 hours. Not for 2 hours, 2 miles. And then we went to the ruins. So the same thing happened in the Hoover Dam as the Mayan ruins. Is like, I went all this time, all this energy, all this effort to get there, and then you get there, you're like, huh, all right, let's go. You know, you just look at it for like 2 minutes. Like, all right, that's cool, let's go. And so, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you know, maybe going out to Lake Mead and hanging out on a boat would be fun for a day, or, you know, let's say, you know, to go to the Grand Canyon. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. I've flown over lots of times. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. I think that would be kind of cool. That's not something you just look at and you're done. I'd like to take one of those donkey rides to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. That would be fun. Because I have to get out of, when I go to Vegas, I have to get out of Vegas because I'm too much trouble. I cause too much trouble when I go into Vegas. There's too much of everything. Too much, you know, what do they call it? No, the city that never sleeps is New York City, right? Sin City, that's right. Yeah, and yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So, hey, we should all get together when we're in Vegas. We're not going to be there the first day of the trade show. We're actually arriving like midnight the first day of the trade show, but we'll be there day 2, 3, and 4. So, you know, if anybody wants to do this, meet up, get together, you know, I'll be there. I'll be at the Westgate Hotel, right connected to the convention center. You know, and I love Vegas. I love hanging out in Vegas. I like partying in Vegas. I normally go to like Toby Keith's bar, or there's a nice piano bar in New York. I like to go to that one. I'm a little bit too old to go to the nightclubs, and right, you know, I just feel old when I go to these things now. So, you know, if anybody wants to hang out and get a drink, let me know. Hit me up. Put a message down in the comment section.